The Colfax Massacre, the day democracy died. Introduction. The year is 1873. In the wake of the American Civil War, the United States is navigating the fraught era of Reconstruction. It is a time defined by the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, which promised equality and voting rights to formerly enslaved people. But in Grant Parish, Louisiana, that promise is about to be violently shattered. This is the story of the Colfax Massacre, the deadliest act of racial violence during the Reconstruction era and a pivotal moment that signaled the end of federal protection for black citizens. The Powder Keg, a contested election, November 1872 to April 1873. Following the turbulent Louisiana gubernatorial election of November 4, 1872, the state was paralyzed by political chaos. Two rival factions, one Republican, one Democratic, claimed victory. This tension trickled down to the local level in Grant Parish. On January 15, 1873, Republican candidates, including many black citizens who had recently gained the right to hold office, took their seats in the Grant Parish courthouse. Local white Democrats, refusing to accept the legitimacy of a biracial government, attempted to seize control. For 3 months, the courthouse became a fortress. Black citizens, many of whom were veterans of the Union Army, occupied the building to protect their newly won political seats and ensure the survival of local Republican authority. The siege of the courthouse, Easter Sunday, April 13, 1873. By April 1873, the situation had reached a breaking point. An armed paramilitary group, comprising members of the Ku Klux Klan and the Knights of White Camellia, gathered in Colfax. They were bolstered by hundreds of white men from neighboring parishes, armed with rifles, shotguns, and, most ominously, a small brass cannon mounted on wheels. On the morning of Easter Sunday, April 13, 1873, the white mob launched an assault on the courthouse. The black defenders held their ground for hours, showing immense courage in the face of overwhelming odds. When the mob failed to breach the building, they resorted to arson. They set the courthouse roof on fire, forcing the defenders to choose between burning alive or fleeing. The massacre and the betrayal of surrender. As the black militia surrendered, the mob descended upon them. What followed was not a skirmish, but a systematic slaughter. Estimates suggest that at least 150 black men were killed. Many were executed in cold blood hours after they had already surrendered their weapons. By the end of the day, the courthouse was a charred ruin, and the political power of black citizens in Grant Parish had been physically annihilated. The legal aftermath: United States versus Cruikshank, 1876. The massacre didn't end in the courthouse. It moved to the highest court in the land. Federal authorities managed to bring charges against the perpetrators under the Enforcement Acts of 1870 and 1871. However, the legal battle ended in a constitutional catastrophe. In the 1876 Supreme Court case United States versus Cruikshank, the court ruled that the Enforcement Acts only empowered the federal government to prosecute state actions, not individual acts of violence. The court effectively stripped the federal government of the power to prosecute individuals for civil rights violations committed against others. This ruling gave white supremacist paramilitaries a green light to use terror to suppress black political participation, effectively ending the federal government's commitment to protecting black rights in the South for decades. Why this story matters today. The Colfax Massacre is more than a historical footnote. It is a fundamental pillar of the American story. It reveals how rapidly democratic progress can be reversed when institutional power fails to protect the vulnerable. The massacre wasn't just an attack on black lives. It was a successful, calculated campaign to dismantle the constitutional gains of Reconstruction. By remembering Colfax, we honor the resilience of those who stood for democracy when the odds were stacked against them. Their sacrifice serves as a sobering, essential reminder of the high cost of liberty and the constant vigilance required to protect it. Production note: this article is a vital companion to the story of the 1898 Wilmington coup. Both events illustrate the violent lengths taken by white supremacist organizations to destroy the promise of Reconstruction and the subsequent rise of Jim Crow.